Welcome to the Saints That Serve podcast,
where each week your hosts dive into the crossroads of faith,
culture,
and the unknown. Christ is Lord,
and the kingdom is now. We are the Saints That Serve. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Saints That Serve podcast. That is
the Saints That Serve podcast.
This is episode 31.
31, baby.
And we have high energy because this isn't a 7 o'clock at night recording.
That's right. We have not toiled all day long. We are fresh and ready to rock.
And roll, as the hippies would say.
Yeah, them dang hippies.
It is currently 10 o'clock in the morning.
And we're ready to entertain you guys with some entertainment.
That's entertaining.
That's right.
In an entertaining fashion.
All right. Well,
hey, you got any announcements for us, big guy?
The biggest thing coming up is the first Friday of May will be another live stream worship night. If you missed the last one, which was, 2 weeks ago now?
Technically, like a week and 3 days, something like that.
Yeah, because it's on a Friday. So, but yeah, we had a lot of fun. There's a good amount of people that contributed, like, you know, in the live stream chat and stuff. There was a couple of people in there. I don't want to make it sound like there was like hundreds, but
you're right, because there were millions.
Yeah, no, but there was some people participating, and that's all we want. We're not looking to try and become super big and famous, but we just want people who are participating in the community. So, join us for our next one. It is the first Friday of May.
Which is what?
Which is, I believe, I'll
give us an exact date.
I was going to say,
John.
I was going to say the 5th, but that was this past Friday. So it's May the 2nd.
Heading up on Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo is a Monday.
Ooh.
So May 2nd is the first Friday of the month, and we will be doing a live stream. The stream will kick off at 6:30, and then the music will go live at 7.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you tune in for that. Other than that, just be checking out on Instagram and Twitter and Threads and Facebook. We give all of our updates on those platforms. If you need prayer for anything, you can reach out to us that way, or you can email us at saintsthatserve@gmail.com, or there's a direct SMS messaging option at the bottom of the description for any of our shows. And if you guys are not on YouTube or listening to this on YouTube, we have turned over into a video format. So there's actual content like pictures and stuff that show up when you watch the YouTube video of these podcast episodes.
Mm-hmm. So if we're discussing, especially in this episode, we'll be discussing a lot of different things that will help if you have a visual representation of what we're speaking about.
Yes.
It's not full-blown video yet, where it's me and you sitting at a table talking to one another.
Yeah.
And y'all can see us talking, but we do have visuals that will pop up on the screen.
Yeah. So make sure that, even if you only watch it for 2 minutes, that still helps on YouTube and everywhere else. Just tune in where it's accessible for you. But if you like visuals, go over to YouTube. That's where they're at.
So visual representations in the YouTube video, if you want to see what we're talking about, it's there. So go enjoy that.
Yep. I think that's all the announcements. I don't think we've got anything else coming up.
I think we might have a comment.
Oh, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where it's at?
YouTube, I believe.
The YouTubes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me just pull that up. Sorry, I was not prepared. Was it on the live stream or was it on something else?
Episode 30.
Episode 30. Okay, here we go. Episode 30. Comment. Pretty sure that I watched The Golden Compass as a teenager. I had no idea that the source material was based on a book that wanted to counter The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. I didn't watch Recess as a kid, but I wonder what modern day TV shows also encourage kids to not respect authority. I'm assuming that's more common these days. And that was from our very own Ashley. Thank you,
right.
Ashley, for that comment. I'm going to go ahead and thumbs up that comment.
Yeah. And to answer your question of I wonder how many shows teach kids to disrespect their parents.
Yeah.
The answer is all of them.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of them that they don't even...
They're not even subtle about it.
There's that, but then there's also, they don't even include parents. Like parents are a distant, far off thing, and the kids are doing everything in their, like everything is going on the show. It's 100% controlled by the kids to kind of promote the idea of you don't need help from your parents. You can do it all on your own. But if you do need help, you can get it from some stranger.
Right.
Who will come in your life or whatever. And it's like, no, kids need their parents.
Right.
So that's my thoughts on it. And I think it's actually backed up by science. Kids need a mother and a father in the home.
From the start of the child's life till the end, they need their parents.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you, Ashley, for that comment.
If anybody doesn't know, Ashley's my wife.
Yeah.
And I love her dearly.
Dearly. Because she is a...
woman.
Yes. All right.
I left her by herself to come do this, and I miss her so much.
Oh, my wife left me. Just because she had to go to Bible study, though. She'll be back later. Have I ever told you that joke?
No.
Oh, my wife left me because I have dependency issues. Oh, wait, she was just going to get coffee. She's back. Never mind.
Have you seen the internet video of the kid running away from home? Mm-hmm. And the dad catches up to him and he's like, "Son, what are you doing? You told me you didn't love me, so I'm running away from home. Son, I just told you couldn't play Minecraft for an hour."
That's funny. That's got to be staged.
It probably is staged. A lot of stuff you can't tell now.
Yeah, that's true. Because everyone's trying to make content.
And content, but things that are real, that's what sells.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. If we ever post sketch videos, it will be very obvious that it's a sketch.
Mm-hmm. Mostly because it'll be poorly made, but...
I disagree. I think that we'll do a great job.
No, I'll see. And all joking aside, if we ever were to release those sketches that we recorded, they would be of quality for sure.
Well, yeah. No, I'm also talking about anything that we produce in the future,
Going forward,
we're in talks about doing. So no, I'm not making any commitments right now. Mm-hmm. We're in talks about getting some other people to partner with us and get some things going for content. For fun content, Christian content.
A convict in a tent, a content.
A content. That's right. A convict who owns a tent.
Yep.
Content.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
and that's the kind of sketch comedy that you can expect from the Saints That Serve.
That's right.
What are we going to call that? The Saints That Act?
The Saints That Act. Yeah. That sounds good to me. No, I don't know.
No.
I don't know what we'll call it.
It's so early stage. It's ridiculous. So.
Yeah. Like I said, we're just talking about it. And Jared's too. But I want it to happen, but we got to get some things figured out first.
First things first, we do need to launch the Saints That Play.
That's right. Which, if you haven't heard about that, we're going to be doing that in June is when it'll be live stream gaming with some Christians. And so it'll be fun.
You know who's going to be there? I'll be there. John will be there. My wife will be there playing games.
Mm-hmm.
Our consistent guest, Janelle, will be there. And just anybody else.
Yeah.
They'll be there.
Mm-hmm. And we'll be playing video games and speaking truth and casting out demons and all that stuff.
In the video game and in real life.
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion.
We're going to be rebuking them devils.
Speaking of Luigi's Mansion, who made that game?
I believe that would be Nintendo.
You want to talk about that?
Hey, let's talk about it.
Hey, Tyler, this is your transition. We are now transitioning into the main topic, which is...
Nintendo! So I looked it up today, and Nintendo is right now the 9th largest Japanese company as far as revenue goes.
What's number one?
Toyota.
Probably a lot of stuff. Like, and this isn't like me stereotype or anything, but probably a lot of Japanese companies that are in the top 10 are probably companies that are worldwide. Oh, I think that's a pretty safe guess. Like, Yamaha, Toyota, Mitsubishi.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Nintendo's worldwide.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is
I got you.
Yeah, all of them in that top 10 is probably companies that everybody's heard of because they're international.
What I thought was funny is number 2 is Mitsubishi Financial, and then like number 10 or 12 is Mitsubishi, the car manufacturer.
I can't say it either.
Mitsubishi.
So them doing other things besides cars makes them more money than making cars.
Yeah, apparently.
Nice.
And that's the thing is like when the names got financial in it, it's like, that could mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing anything. So it's all a scam. It's the Yakuza. That's what it is.
And also Yakuza, number 8.
Yeah. This is Yakuza International. Fun fact. The guy who created the company that made Nintendo, he got his start. Are you going to talk about this?
Yeah, I've got a whole history of Nintendo. His name is Fusajiro Yamaguchi.
Yeah. So you're going to talk about the cards?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, don't you have a Bible verse to read?
I do. So I wanted to do a Bible verse of the day. And this is John, the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verses 1 through 3. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. That verse kind of stood out. I don't know why, but the Lord highlighted that verse to me at the beginning of this week. And upon reflection, I just realized, because it's talking about Christ in that passage.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus is the Word of God. And he was there at the beginning in creation. He's the Son of the triune God that we believe in. But just that reminder of we as man, the first sin was trying to be like God.
Mm-hmm.
And that sin reoccurs throughout history and even throughout our own lives where we try to be God in our own lives and in our own ways. But the only one who is truly God is God, Jesus Christ. And he humbled himself from his godhood and came down fully man, fully God, and paid the ultimate price to atone for all of sin so that we who try to pretend to be God could be forgiven of that sin and come back into communion with the real God. So it was a good reminder for me because I'm thinking about all the different stuff that's going on in our culture, and it's like, this is the first time this has happened. It's like, no, this has happened throughout history.
Mm-hmm.
Mankind has always tried to become God. That's what we've always tried to do. So it was the original sin. And we just remember that it's not new, but there is forgiveness from it. And we need to recognize it and repent of it. So yeah, that was my tidbit. So there you go.
A bit tid.
Verse of the day. Or week, I guess, verse of the week.
But hey, it's the verse of today. But listeners, you need to go and find your own verse of the day every other day of the week and then come back next Monday for next Monday's verse of the day.
There you go. But speaking about that, I would love to hear what y'all think of that verse and what does it mean to you? Like what stands out to you about the first 3 verses of the Gospel of John? And let's just get some dialogue going in the comments.
Sounds great to me.
There we go. All right, let's talk about the Yakuza.
The Yakuza. The Yakuza pronounced Nintendo?
Yeah. Yeah, same thing. Go ahead.
So, I come way too detailed, so with my notes.
It's okay.
So, I'm going to be jumping around a little bit. So, if it sounds a little fragmented, it's because I'm just jumping around a little bit with the history.
Okay.
Because it's notes, not...
It's notes.
It's not very coherent, but we're going to go at it. So Nintendo was founded in 1889 in Kyoto, Japan by, as we said, Fusajiro I said it wrong before. It's Yamauchi.
Yeah, I had a problem with that this morning trying to pronounce it. Yamauchi.
Mm-hmm.
Yamauchi? Yamauchi?
Yamauchi.
Let's just go by his first name. That one's easier. Fusajiro.
The thing is the Japanese go by last names. We're not trying to be offensive, by the way. We just do struggle.
Yes. Anyone who's Japanese and hates us because of how terrible we are at pronouncing Japanese names, we're sorry.
So Nintendo, when they first were founded, was a gaming company in the sense of like board games, card games, entertainment games, because in 1889, video games were not a thing.
Yeah. So screens weren't around.
Mm-hmm. So they made what is called Hanafuda cards, playing cards,
and
they're essentially they're gambling card game. Like it's
a card game to be used in gambling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's picture American playing cards.
Yeah.
The idea behind that, where you can come up with so many different types of games.
Mm-hmm.
With just a deck of 52 cards with numbers and shapes on it, hearts and all that.
Yep.
Hanafuda cards are pictures. They're just pictures, a river or the sun setting, that kind of thing. And you just can make up a bunch of different games with them.
Yeah.
So, old school playing cards.
Japanese playing cards or Karuta. Anyways, but when I was reading about it, it was like they gained popularity in, what city did you say it was?
Kyoto.
Kyoto. Because at that time, the Japanese government had banned all forms of gambling.
Funny enough,
except those cards.
Even today, gambling for monetary gain is illegal in Japan.
Yeah. So the Yakuza gambling parlors would buy up all the Hanafuda cards from Yamauchi.
You can say Nintendo.
From Nintendo. And that's how the company got its start, was from Yakuza.
Sidebar, gambling is a thing in Japan, right?
Yeah.
But so they have like what's called plinko machines.
Yeah.
And so the workaround on that is that you do not win money when you play those games. You win little metal balls, little ball bearings that you can then go to a store nearby, quote unquote store nearby, and then they buy metal balls.
There you go.
So, I mean, that is the legal workaround to allow people to gamble in Japan.
Yeah.
Is that you're playing a game that lets you win something, and then somebody just happens nearby
to
buy it from you.
How much longer do you think gambling will be illegal in our state of Georgia?
Probably not too much longer. I'm sure they're fighting it. Well, it really depends. I could see it happening in the next 10 years that we'll have a casino here in Georgia somewhere.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was talking about the illegal gambling. I was like, well, you know what? It's illegal to gamble here in our state.
And what's funny is we don't have workarounds.
We don't have I mean, I see different machines at random gas stations. I don't know what the workaround there is.
Maybe casinos are illegal in Georgia?
No, I think.
But slot machine, or maybe that's just an illegal.
It's actual gambling because there'll be game vendors, people come and set up like casino night and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot bet. Like, you can't put actual money on the table.
Gotcha.
Like, you can buy chips, but they can't, add stuff. Does that make sense? Like,
I know we're getting on a bit of a side tangent here, but even in casinos in Vegas, you have to buy chips, right? Or can you put money down on the tables there?
The one time that I played, it was for a charity thing. And so all the money that you turned in was a donation to the charity. And then the charity just said, here you go. Here's the chips to play poker.
Yeah.
So you didn't get the money back. There was no pot being taken home. All the money was staying there for the charity.
Sure. But all you did was you bought these plastic pieces
You bought the chips and then you lost the chips, or you turned them in at the end of the night.
But it was all for charity and fun.
It was all for charity and fun.
I wonder if that's the workaround is, oh, yeah, the money in this machine in this gas station is going to go to charity, quote unquote.
Well, because that's what that's essentially what the lottery is.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, it's kind of gambling, but
no, it is gambling.
It is gambling, but it goes towards the school. It goes towards school funds for Georgia.
A percentage of it, and then the rest of the winnings go to whoever wins, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyways, all right, back to Nintendo.
In 1933, the company became Yamaguchi Nintendo & Co.
Okay, so when I was looking stuff up about this, there was debate on why he named it Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything on that?
I don't.
Yeah, so people were like, why did he name it Nintendo? Like, what does Nintendo mean? And some of it was, I think it's on here, was like heaven decides the fates or whatever. Oh, leave luck to heaven.
Leave luck to heaven
is what some people assumed Nintendo meant. But then some people said the Temple of Free Hanafuda, which I don't know how the Japanese language works, so I don't know how you can get two totally different.
There are symbols that can mean multiple things in context.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, so that's because it would be in the Japanese symbols. It wouldn't actually be in the English. Dumb, Johnny. Dumb. Anyways, yeah, so I thought that was interesting that it's like he named it Nintendo, but no one knows why he named it that. Really.
And so just a made-up word.
Just a made-up word. Anyways.
So we're going to jump ahead a little bit. In the late 60s, early 70s, they started to diversify into multiple different other industries besides playing cards. So they had instant rice cookers, which failed. They had a taxi service that also failed.
Interesting.
And they made vacuum cleaners, and apparently that did succeed. But they also did like weird different little toys. Like they had something called the Ultra Hand. So those little like toys that are like little boxing gloves that you pull the levers and it's it's like a toy spring thing that comes out and like you can get hit with a boxing glove or it's a little. Well, I think probably what you saw was like the extendo arm with a clamp and it grabs stuff for you. Mm-hmm. It was that, but it was a hand and it grabbed stuff.
Okay.
So they made like that toy and that got big and they had that.
Okay.
It's two little suction cups on the end. Sorry.
Well, you guys will see a picture of it.
Yeah, check out the video version of this podcast. And then they had something called the love tester. So, like if you were in like you see it in movies and stuff in bars where you hold like the little like arcade machine hand and it like tests your love. Like how is your relationship with this person? It was always just like a random answer, but you'd put a quarter in,
Interesting.
And it'd tell you like, oh, how strong is you and this person's love?
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
So they made those for a long time, but eventually Nintendo made video games.
Yeah. Eventually they got in it because I think wasn't their first thing an arcade cabinet release
or Donkey Kong. In 1973, they developed early arcade games and electronic shooting galleries.
Shooting galleries?
Yeah. So again, just like
an
arcade game.
Pew-pews. Yeah.
Little pew-pews. So.
But was Donkey Kong their first game?
Donkey Kong arcade? No, sorry, I apologize. That came out in 1981.
Okay, international, right? He was the first international game. The company became internationally dominant in the 1980s after the arcade release of Donkey Kong in 1981.
So that's what it is. So they did make arcade games before.
Yeah,
but after the fact, they did when they went international, they got a huge success because of Donkey Kong, which that game had Jumpman in it. Do you know who Jumpman is?
He's Mario, right?
Yeah, Mario. That's right, Jumpman.
For all you laymen's.
In 1983, the Famicom released in Japan. Do you know what the Famicom is?
No.
Not even a little bit?
No context. I have no idea.
Famicom was later released in America as the Nintendo Entertainment System. That is the Japanese version of the NES, and it looks completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks completely different.
I actually do have a Nintendo game that I wanted to, a Nintendo themed game, mini game that you and I were going to play. I was going to go down the list of all the consoles that they've come out with, and you were going to tell me which one you've owned. And we're going to see how many Nintendo consoles.
Do you want to do this?
Yeah. You want to do it now?
Let's do it now, because after we talk about these, we can play the mini game. We can talk about all the consoles in a little more detail.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to go down the list as they have it listed.
Okay.
Okay. The color TV game.
Color TV game, no.
Okay.
Because I have that on here. It says the first console, the color TV game in 1977. So that is a Japanese.
Okay.
console.
So the NES or Famicom.
Yes.
Okay. Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Super Famicom.
Just go with American names.
Okay. NES.
Yeah.
Super NES.
The SNES?
Yeah.
YES, yes. I had that one. I have that one still.
Nintendo 64.
Yes.
GameCube.
Yes.
Panasonic Q.
No.
Okay. The Wii.
Yes.
Wii Family Edition.
Wait, you're going off a weird
I'm just
list.
going down the list.
Hold on, let me help you out here.
It's the revision of the Wii that could
I know. So you're
horizontally.
You're reading like this weird list
Okay,
of
fine.
like iterations, all that stuff. Do that list.
Okay. All right.
Start at the top there.
All right. We
Because
went
they
through-
do Nintendo. If we'll get into it maybe later on, but Nintendo is really great about releasing the same thing 37,000 times
Yeah.
as different iterations, different colors or small little iterations, just little tiny little fixes, and calling it.
Well, this is
Same
the only difference they made with this one was the family was the one that had to sit horizontally.
But if it played the same games,
I see what you're
we
saying.
need to consider it the same console.
I got you.
Because they do that so much, where it's like they'll have the 3DS and then the 3DS XL and the 3DS Mini or the 2DS. They all play the same game,
Yeah.
so they are considered within the same family of the 3DS.
I got you.
And they did that a lot. So
Also, I misspoke earlier. Number 2 is Sony for Japanese companies.
I gotcha.
And then it's Mitsubishi Financial.
So start over at the top of that list.
All right. NES,
Yes.
Game Boy,
Yes.
SNES,
Yes.
Nintendo 64,
Yes.
Game Boy Color,
Yes.
Game Boy Advance,
Yes.
GameCube,
Yes.
Nintendo DS,
Yes.
Wii,
Yes.
Nintendo 3DS,
Yes.
Wii U,
Yes.
Switch.
Yes.
Why don't you have the Panasonic Q on here?
Because that's not
Is that not an
that
actual
because it's a
word?
Panasonic system that was developed by Nintendo or in conjunction.
Oh, it's a hybrid version.
It's a hybrid thing.
Nintendo
That,
GameCube with the ability to play DVDs, audio, CD.
yeah, so it's a GameCube.
I got
It's a GameCube console. Again, a different iteration integrated into something else.
I got you. So you've owned every single console that they've come out with.
Yes. At one point or another, yes.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody can tell.
Except the color TV game.
Whatever that is. I'm not sure what that is.
So the TV game series includes 5 different pieces of hardware, each one with a unique game color. TV game system did not have interchangeable cartridges, so each console could only play a single title.
Oh, so those are...
The very first thing they came out with.
Okay, so that is... Do you remember those little handheld little games that only had, like, you play, like,
Yeah.
a level? That's what those are. It was a series of those.
With, what was the big Pong?
Yeah, it would be like Pong.
And Tetris.
Yeah, so those aren't really game consoles, because game consoles insinuates that it has different games that play on the system itself. Otherwise, it's more of a toy.
All right, let's look up the meaning of game console. I don't know if anything's going to actually come up.
What is a game console?
All right, there we go. That's the way we'll word it. Game console is an electronic device often connected to a TV that allows users to play video games using a controller and can be either a home console or a handheld console. So you're saying that it has to be able to play plural games.
I believe so, yes.
So then what would that one be? The home game, the home TV?
The color TV? that would probably be more considered a toy because you buy a single thing that has one single small experience built into it.
So an arcade cabinet would be a toy instead of a console?
I hate it when you come back to a good argument. I don't know. So like,
because that's really what it is it's the first home arcade cabinet.
So it's not a video game console, it's an arcade cabinet.
So that's what the home TV color would be. It would be an arcade cabinet.
It would be a home arcade cabinet, yeah.
Home arcade cabinet with your own TV.
I don't know. Everybody in the comments, let us know how you interpret that, because that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Of an argument to me, because to me a home console is something that has interchangeable games. So,
you want to rat her out right now for her bosses?
Ashley's also off for the day.
Oh, never
mind. John just got a notification that Ashley is playing The Sims 3 right now on Steam.
Shocker. You would have been crazy is if it popped up and she was playing something that
she never would have played.
She would never play on her own.
Why does this say she's playing Call of Duty?
Yeah. Why is she playing Call of Duty Ghost?
Why is she playing Call of Duty Black Ops 5?
Yeah. Oh, man, that would be funny. Why is she playing Pox Nora?
Pox Nora. This is a video game heavy episode.
Yeah. If you don't know what that is, it's an inside joke between Jairus and I. So,
well, it's also a real video game.
It is a real video game, Pox Nora, but it's a recurring joke between the two of us.
Because it was a game John always wanted to play.
Because it was free.
It was free, and I was always just like, I don't want to play this. This game is stupid. And you'd always beat me at it, too. It was like a strategy game.
There you go. You guys heard it here first. I've got better strategy than Jairus.
No, I just didn't like that game, so I never put the time into it. I bet you I could beat you at it now.
Pox Nora?
Pox Nora.
Okay.
Live stream.
You want to do a live stream with Pox Nora?
Yeah.
Okay.
So y'all look forward to that.
I could beat you at any game if I actually committed to it.
I didn't want to play it.
Okay.
Right. We were also like 12, so.
Fair. Okay.
So anyways, a handheld, so there was a toy. Then there's arcade cabinets, which is an advanced toy. It plays a single game. And then you have a video game console that has interchangeable games.
Which would be, but you would agree it's the next generation.
Sure. It's the first step in video gaming.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I've owned every video game at one point or another, every Nintendo console, except I've never owned or played the Virtual Boy, which is not on this. But that was their attempt in VR, but like in the 80s.
Yeah, a long time ago. Back when VR was sci-fi-y.
It was a huge failure.
Yeah.
It only had like 5 games on it, and it didn't do well.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
So what was your first Nintendo console?
Mine or like the first one that we had in the house?
Yes.
Okay, so I've actually never owned one myself.
Really?
The first one that was in the house was my oldest brother's, and it was an NES. So, we played Super Mario's and Duck Hunt.
Which, by the way, just so everybody knows, that was my first video game console, and first game I ever played was that Mario Brothers Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
That was my first time ever video game.
I think that was the first time for a lot of people in the South. I think that was the selling point, was the Duck Hunt, as funny as that is. But yeah, so that was the first one. And we also had the Marvel's game. I can't remember what it was called, but basically it was like an arcade cabinet game for the Marvel Avengers.
But so it was the home release of the Marvel arcade cabinet game that they had in arcades.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
that game was fun.
Yeah, Captain America or Hawkeye, and then there was one other, maybe
Wolverine.
Storm.
You could. That was four people you could play. Choose maybe 5, if I'm not mistaken. It was. Now I'm thinking of the X-Men video game.
Yeah, you're thinking of the X-Men video game, but this one you could, or maybe it was a Silver Surfer. It was Captain America, Hawkeye, and I think the Silver Surfer were the 3 you could play. And it's a walk through. You're beating up minions and stuff. Anyways, so yeah. So that we had that, and then there was a Mickey Mouse game that we had that I
hated because
I can't remember what it was.
Let's be honest. Until fairly more recently, there wasn't a lot of good Disney video games. It was always very gimmicky, or Mickey Mouse going through somewhere, and it was just it just didn't feel fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. The best one they've got is that Minecraft Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Right.
map.
No, that's the false statement. The best Disney video game is Kingdom Hearts.
Yes. Well, I guess so. I'll take your word for it because I've never played it.
Look out in the future for the stream where John plays Kingdom Hearts for the first time.
PlayStation 1, The Lion King.
PlayStation 1's The Lion King. False. That was an NES game. Oh, sorry, Super Nintendo game as well. We played that on...
You just said false and then said it was also on...
No, I'm saying it wasn't on the PS1, to my understanding. It was on the SNES and the Sega Genesis. The Lion King video game. Because I had that on the Sega Genesis.
Okay, now we gotta look it up.
This is called the fact check episode.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we played it.
If I'm wrong, or maybe it's like Lion King 2 or something like that.
Lion King Mighty Adventure. That's what it was called, Simba's Mighty Adventure.
Okay, so that's not the same game, but it is a Lion King game.
It is a Lion King game, so there
not the one I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wait, click that picture.
Of course it doesn't come up big.
That's not the same game.
Yeah, no. And you know what, to be honest, it's not the same game that I'm thinking of either. I guess you are right. Because it's not.
Just search Lion King and then just put Sega Genesis.
The Lion King. Let's just do this video game and see what comes up.
That's it right there.
This one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Sega Genesis online game. There you go, people. You heard it here first.
So it wasn't on the SNES?
Go
scroll down.
This is just saying it was on the Super SNES and Genesis.
All right, cool. I was right.
There you go.
Don't test me on these video game facts. I know things.
I don't know why I was thinking, because the friend that I was playing it with, I was for certain that he had a PlayStation that we were playing on, but I guess I'm wrong.
It's weird how memories will do that. Like you remember what you're playing, but you don't remember.
I think I did get it for the Game Boy though.
And
we did play on the Game Boy as well. But anyways, so we had a NES and then we had Game Boys.
Mm-hmm.
So me and two of my brothers, we all got Game Boy Color, and then our oldest brother, he got a regular Game Boy. And then after that, and I think we've talked about this, but I got my first game was Monsters Inc. For the Game Boy Color. And that was my first technical console, right?
Yeah.
So that was my very first video game that was mine, was Monsters Inc. It was all right. But like my one brother got the Lego Island video game where you play as a pizza delivery boy who's trying to catch a criminal.
Yeah.
And you throw pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
That one was pretty fun. And then my other brother got Mario Bros. So.
This weird Italian game.
Yeah. I was like, what the heck? Anyways.
It ended up being the biggest thing ever.
Yeah. It ended up being massive.
One of the most recognizable characters ever. This is an old video, but have you ever seen where these people went and showed pictures to kids and asked them who this was?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like they'd show them, Sonic the Hedgehog, Pikachu, and Mario.
Mm-hmm.
They'd all be like, yeah, Sonic, Pikachu, Mario. They call it out, and then they'd show them a picture of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And they just like, I don't know who that is. Which is incredibly sad, but it's just like...
Well, in their defense, we don't know if that's actually what he looked like, so...
Right, true.
Anyways, yeah, and then the next one was a GameCube. I had a brother who got a GameCube.
You know where that GameCube's at now?
At your house.
I have it.
Yeah.
I have that GameCube. I bought it from you.
Ashley's playing Sims 3 on it right now. But yeah, the big one on that was...
Oh, and your Game Boy Advance I had for the longest time until I gave it back to you.
I would have been my brother's. That's not mine.
I gave it back to you, and then I think you gave it back to him.
Yeah. But we played Animal Crossing on the GameCube.
Oh my gosh, Animal Crossing on the GameCube was the best.
Yep. And then Battlefield, I feel like, was on the GameCube.
Star Wars Battlefront.
Battlefront, thank you.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront. And I don't know if we had anything else that we played on there. So yeah, and then the Wii came out, and like the Wii was all about playing the Wii Sports.
Dude, everybody had a Wii. Literally your grandma had a Wii. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
everybody
played a Wii
for the Wii Sports, and then the dance game,
Just Dance,
and then later on Rock Band came out, and we got
Heck
Rock
yes.
Band for the Wii. So yeah, that's it. Those are all the iterations. We have not yet owned a Switch.
No, not yet.
Yeah, but once again, the only console I've owned was a Game Boy Color.
Mm-hmm.
I've never owned any of the other ones.
So Nintendo Entertainment Center System, the NES, that was, again, the first one I ever owned.
Yep.
Played the heck out of that all the time.
Do you want to give the disclaimer for the cartridges?
That's all you got to say.
And did it work?
Funny enough, it's been proven that doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
So if anybody who doesn't know, to get the game to work, you had to blow into the cartridge and then place the game in it.
Was the common practice.
And really what you were doing was every time you took it out, you were then creating that contact again to the game chip, to the prongs that was reading.
Just a hard reset.
And it eventually just fixed it.
Yeah.
But they kind of proved that didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It was just something everybody did for some reason.
Yeah, it was really funny though.
They thought that you were clearing out the dust. The dust wasn't keeping you from playing your game.
Yeah. Looking back on it, like that was just the thing that we did. Like what do kids even have now that they do? They just reset the internet.
Yeah, because all games are digital now.
All the games are digital, yeah, and you're playing online with people.
So yeah, NES, Game Boy was not. I never owned these actually in order, except for the NES for the most part. No, well, more recent games, systems I owned in order. But like I had the NES, then I got I think a Game Boy Color, then a Nintendo 64.
What was your first Game Boy Color game?
Rats.
If anyone remembers from episode, 28?
I think so.
27?
Something like that.
When we talked about the Pokemons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I got Pokemon.
And then you got Pokemon. Which one?
Red.
Pokemon Red, people. Yeah. Episode 28.
Funny enough, I bought an SNES from somebody who was selling it when we worked at Freedom.
Really?
Yeah, because they sold me the SNES, and it didn't come with a power plug.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a local video game store near Freedom that I went and drove to and had to buy a bunch of supplies for the SNES.
Yeah. Freedom was an electronics repair company that both Jairus and I worked at one point in our lives.
Also, we live in America, so.
Yeah. Technically, every business is Freedom, but yeah.
So that was interesting because it was just like I had a kick of, classic game consoles. Mm-hmm. I remember now, my stepdad got it in a storage unit. When he was buying deferred on storage units, he found it in one of those and he gave that to me. And then I had to buy the power plug. That's what happened. I remember now.
Okay.
So I got that, but maybe 8 years ago. And the SNES came out in 1991. So I played a lot of that. That was fun.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Nintendo 64. Got that for Christmas. We're all over the board. You know what I mean? It's just, I have owned these in one way or another, but just all over the place.
I remember going to a friend's house and playing a game, and it was basically like you were in caves fighting just waves and waves of orcs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was orcs or goblins or whatever, but it was a 4-person. That was a 64 thing. Nintendo 64, like it's a 4-player games.
Mm-hmm. But that was on the N64?
I think so.
So I had a game called Gauntlet. That was that. Did you play it at my house?
No, I didn't play it at your house, but I think it was Gauntlet. I think you're right.
But so I had Gauntlet for the NES, and then you might have been playing one that was on N64.
Nintendo 64
Gauntlet
Legends.
That might be it. Is that it?
Maybe. Let me look at some pictures. It's been a long time, you guys. It's been a long time. It's been a while. Yeah, this looks right. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so we played it on N64. It was one of those things like we went over to his house
just to play Gauntlet.
No, for just in general all-nighter. They had a big screen TV and a pool table in the basement and a bunch of couches. So it was like we could play video games, play pool, and then fall asleep whenever. So yeah. Anyways.
I miss the 90s.
Yeah.
Wii. I want to talk about the Wii for a second. Get on that for a second.
Wii. Okay.
So the Nintendo Wii was massive. It was massive in a way that people couldn't comprehend because they promoted that system to be family friendly.
Yeah.
Like everything, the advertisement, your grandma can play the Wii.
Yeah.
It also came packed in was Wii Sports. We've talked about that.
Yeah, we brought it up just a second ago.
Wii Sports is the highest grossing or the highest sold video game ever.
Didn't it come with the console?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Wii sold so much, it is the highest selling video game.
That's crazy.
I don't know if
That
that's
Wii Sports.
Wii Sports is because it was a packing game.
Because of the bowling.
The bowling, so much fun. Tennis. I think people talk more about tennis than bowling.
Tennis was big, yeah.
Bowling and tennis is what you see. Name the other games that were in that.
Golf.
There was 5 total.
So we got bowling, tennis, golf, boxing, baseball.
Yeah. There you go.
Boom! That's right, Darius. I know stuff.
So that was my first experience with how'd I put it? Lack of surplus. So
lack of surplus.
Right. So you go to the store and you're like, I want one Wii, please. We don't have any.
Oh.
Why don't you have any? Everybody bought them all.
Gotcha.
I asked for a Wii for Christmas, and instead of getting a Wii for Christmas, I got cash and said, buy it when you can get it. And I checked, I think I got that in December and didn't get a Wii till May.
Wow.
They were so incredibly sparse or incredibly hard to find.
Yeah.
And I remember calling GameStop every day. Do you have a Wii in stock? Do you have a Wii in stock? Do you have a Wii in stock? And finally they said yes. And that was when my mom was working nights, and I ran in there and I'm like, Mom, GameStop has a Wii. Can you take me there? She's like, I just got home and went to bed. No, I'm not taking you to GameStop.
Dang.
It's not that mean. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
In my young mind, I'm like, I've been trying forever. It's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, I kind of just defeatedly walk outside. And about that time, that was the time when my mom was dating her now husband.
Yeah.
My stepdad.
Mm-hmm.
And he happened to pull up. I'm like, take me to GameStop. And I went up there and got a Wii.
There you go. Awesome.
Started playing Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that game is so much fun.
Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Pretty cool. I think I've played that a little bit.
Yeah, it's really good.
Is it the one that you can get the bow attachment?
No, that's Link's crossbow training, I believe is what that game's called.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I played that.
The one that has the crossbow?
I don't think it was a maybe it was a crossbow. But yeah, I played that.
Yeah. So much fun. So that trained me after, going 5 months without this thing that I wanted, trained me to always grab as soon as I could, like go wait in line, midnight release, all that nonsense for a Nintendo console.
You remember when we worked a midnight release for that game that was ended up being really dumb? The Brink?
Yeah.
Yeah. We both worked at a pizza place together, and we got on the shift to go hand out the slices at the midnight release for this game. And they had the gaming console, mobile thing.
Yeah, they had the truck with the game in the back, and we played a little bit, and it was all this is great. And then, because the thing about gaming is what we're about is community.
Yeah.
We're always about that. And when you're together all in playing this game, it's so much fun.
Yep.
The moment that you get a bad game home, though,
yeah,
you realize how bad the game is.
Yeah.
Brink is bad.
Yeah. The selling point was it's the first game that has parkour in it. And you're like, oh, nice. Okay.
A parkour shooter. Let's do this.
Yeah. So we go and we play. And really, it wasn't even that the game was all that good because we played maybe like 5 minutes while we were actually at the midnight release.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just, the environment of.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what's missing. Again, that community. We've played a lot of terrible games.
Yeah.
But we always had fun because we were playing as a community, friends hanging out. It was never about the game. It was about just being together in friendship, you know?
Yeah. What do you think was the worst game you had the best time playing?
Brink. I mean, dude, music playing.
Yeah.
Get in the back of that, that trailer, and you had all these consoles, everybody having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like everybody out there waiting in line. We'll never have a midnight release like that again.
Yeah, everything's online now. They don't promote kind of showing up in person. I will say though that my eyes were open to the idea of just, I don't even know what the term would be, but Red Bull ambassadors.
Yeah,
show up to events and they just hand out Red Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing that there. There was a couple of ambassadors there just walking around with backpack coolers and just handing out Red Bulls. And I was like, oh, sweet, free Red Bull. And then I realized like Red Bull sells an insane amount of drinks.
Yeah.
So much so, I mean, everybody knows Red Bull. And all they do is they just show up to events and do that. And then obviously, they've got their funny commercials. Red Bull gives you wings.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do the Red Bull Sports.
Yeah.
And it's
everywhere.
It's everywhere. But yeah, doing that midnight release,
mm-hmm.
but it was pretty cool.
So when the Wii U came out, I'm like, I've got to get it. This next Nintendo console. How do I get this? I've got to get this day one.
Yeah.
Wii U is the biggest Nintendo failure. The console was great.
Mm-hmm.
The console was great, but because of how they advertised it, no one knew what it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everybody assumed it was some sort of attachment for the Wii.
Yeah.
So they called it the Wii U, and everybody was just like, oh, I'm not going to get this weird controller attachment. I'll just keep playing my Wii. Not knowing it's in a completely brand new system.
Yeah.
So it was a commercial failure with great games on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I never played it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like it took like this extra screen and like allowed you to play.
I remember you playing it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember coming over to your house and watching you play.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was, had to work hard to get it,
Yeah.
And it ended up being a failure, and it just got burnt out immediately. Like, this is fun, but where are all the games?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't doing well, they weren't really making that many games for it. So
there you go.
So we're going to get on to real quick the Switch, which brought Nintendo out of a hole in such an incredible way.
Out of the Wii U hole?
The Wii U hole. Seriously. It is Nintendo's first hybrid console, which means that you could plug it up into the TV and play it on your TV, pick it up, take it with you wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
Massive, massive, massive success.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody has that. Like,
everybody has a Switch.
Yeah. It's like not to say that, I mean, it's the gamer console, like the nostalgia gamer console and the kid console.
Right.
Everybody, the only people I know of that play PlayStation are like college age people or guys that still act like they're in college.
Right.
I
have a PlayStation.
Yeah. You're college age.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll say that.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say that. But yeah, I mean, massive success. It was such a success that they took all the few great games that were on the Wii U and remade them for the Switch.
Yeah.
So all the essentially just completely making the Wii U obsolete in just the funniest way.
Yeah.
So all the great games that are on the Switch, on the Wii U, are also on the Switch.
So don't even try and find a Wii U on the internet. Just go get a Switch.
Pretty much.
Are there any other hybrid consoles out there for other companies, or is it just the Wii Switch right now?
The Steam Deck.
Steam Deck?
Yeah.
Doesn't Amazon have a gaming console?
They probably have quite a few. The one that comes to mind is the Steam Deck.
That's Amazon?
No, I'm saying just, is there any other console like that? I don't know.
Oh,
the only console like that I can think of is
the Steam Deck. Yeah, that was the only one I could think of too. Yeah.
I think there are handheld consoles, like gaming PC consoles like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if they do the hybrid can connect to your TV or not.
Did you ever have this cable?
Yeah.
The hybrid cable for your Game Boy Advance and your GameCube?
Well, did I ever have it? No, I played it though. Because the one game that took advantage of it was the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Oh.
Which I own that because you own that. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my brother owned it. Yeah.
Yeah. That game was fun.
Yeah.
So moving on to what I feel like will be the closing topic and also what we kind of been leading up to. Because this is the whole reason I wanted to start, have a Nintendo episode.
Yeah.
We have a major video game console announced that's coming out.
Really? What is it?
The Switch 2.
Not to be mistaken with the Switch 1.
Well, I think that they're calling it the Switch 2 because they don't want to have the same issue again that they did with the Wii, where they called it the Wii and then the Wii U and no one knew what it was. So it's like, this is number 2, guys. Which is funny enough, the first time that they've added a number to their system, or in the sense that it's a sequel. It was the Nintendo 64 was called that because it was a 64-bit system.
What is go ahead and give me the rundown of what makes the Switch 2 different from the Switch?
Funny enough, forward-facing, looking at it, not much.
Okay.
Under the hood, it is closer. It's like a Switch 1.9. It's not quite a Switch 2 in my mind.
Okay.
So it has a way greater processor inside of it. So the games it plays has to play on this if it's developed for that system.
Okay.
Right? So, you can't play old games. You can't play new games on old console.
Yeah.
It just will not work.
Yeah.
So it's the screen itself is a 1080p, which is standard HD.
Yeah.
Where the old one was 720. If you put it on the TV, it does 4K gaming, which is brand new.
Nice. Okay.
It has actually built into the controllers a mouse, like a mouse sensor, so you can actually set it on the controller on the table and move it like a mouse.
Interesting. Okay.
The way they connect to the console is different.
Okay.
Instead of sliding them down, it actually just magnetizes it into place.
Which is smart.
Which is very smart.
I think that's better than the slide-in thing.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what else. Oh, they added... The big thing they really pushed when they announced it was they added one new button to the controller that allows for chat. So the old Switch did not have chat rooms and all that stuff. This does, a microphone built into the system.
Yeah. I guess the question is, what are you most excited for?
The Mario Kart.
Mario Kart? Are we going to get a new Super Smash game?
More than likely, yeah.
Okay.
So magnetic attachment system, mouse-like functionality, the C button, which is the chat button.
Yeah.
Or community or whatever they're calling it. Yeah, and games. Just games will run better on it. Switch is a 8-year-old console.
Yeah.
Came out in 2017.
Yeah. It's been around a while.
Mm-hmm. So, we needed an upgrade. And not just a re-release of the same console in a different, with a new looking. They had the Switch OLED come out, and it's like, oh, good looking screen, but it didn't change all the insides of it that made the games run better. Yeah. It just looked more colorful.
I gotcha. Okay.
The screen is bigger. The console itself is larger.
Okay.
And, Mario Kart. It's an open world game.
Really?
Yeah, I'm excited. I love me some Mario Kart more than anything else.
Yeah. What do you think drives that?
A motor.
All the big legacy games
are becoming
open world.
Oh, Zelda. Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom. They took a dungeon crawling format and turned it into an open world game. Every single major Nintendo IP has some form of open world to it to some degree.
Yeah.
The last Pokemon game to come out was open world. Kirby was semi-open world. Mario had an open world-ish game come out.
Even over in Microsoft with Halo, the most recent Halo game that came out.
That's because of Zelda.
Is it Zelda or is
Zelda
it
came out before Halo Infinite.
Yeah, but Minecraft came out before Zelda. And Minecraft's technically, I mean,
it is open world, but that's not the same thing because it's not story driven. It's just an open world you explore freely. These are story driven open world games.
Okay.
It's not like it was the first to do open world gaming either. There's several older open world games. This is the first time that really opened the door for Nintendo to start doing open world games.
Gotcha. Okay.
And really push we have such a huge surplus of open world games now.
Yeah.
Because of the success of Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom is the sequel to Breath of the Wild. So, let's get into the controversies of this thing.
Okay.
So, how much do you think the Switch 2 is going to cost?
I'm going to say $800.
Oh, you way overshot.
Oh, $500.
It's $500 if you buy the bundle that comes with Mario Kart.
So $300.
No, $450.
So it's only $50 for the bundle? $50 more for the bundle?
Yes, which, let's get into that.
Okay.
More controversies. Switch 2 games are costing $80 to $90.
Yeah.
So Mario Kart, $80. You save $30 by buying the Switch 2 bundle that comes with Mario Kart.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like,
I just can't believe how we've gotten to the point where video games are $80 to $90.
$80. Right now, this is kind of how it's built out. So things could change.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that as well. $80 for digital, $90 for physical.
I think when you get the really big companies that produce games, the games are so expensive because the companies have become so big. Because I look at things like when we played Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
It's a $40 game.
Right.
It's really good.
Constantly being updated.
Constantly being
free.
Plays really well, but it's a small team or a small company that put it together and put it out. So I think that's what the issue is.
Yeah.
It's less about how much it actually costs.
And how many people are working on it.
It's how many, yeah.
We got to pay these people.
Yeah.
So let's get into some more pricing.
Okay.
$450, $80, $90 games. Ask me when the game's coming out.
When's the game coming out?
Oh, sorry, when the system's coming out.
When is the system coming out?
June 5th.
Really?
Yeah, 2 months from now.
What?
Ask me when you can pre-order it.
When can you pre-order it?
It was going to be today. Ask me what happened.
What happened?
It got delayed.
How long?
We don't know. Ask me why.
Why did it get delayed?
Tariffs.
Well, there you go.
So here's my thing, right? And we're going to get a little political here for a second.
Okay.
They are blaming Trump for the delay because they're saying that depending on the tariffs, they might raise the prices.
Okay.
So my thing is they're blaming Trump on these tariffs.
Yeah.
Which he is implementing tariffs. They're blaming the delay.
Yeah.
Yesterday it went live for pre-order in the UK. People are buying this, can buy it now.
Yeah.
Just not get it until June. They're blaming these tariffs but they're saying that they adjusted the price, this $450 because of the tariffs.
Okay.
But the price is across the board internationally.
What?
The price is $450 across the board internationally.
Okay.
But they're saying that it's $450 because of United States tariffs.
Gotcha.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
Why is it that, it's the same price across the board in all countries, but because of tariffs from the United States on Japan, it's $450 across all nations?
Yeah.
That don't make sense to me. We're going to get into negatives on Nintendo. Nintendo is famous for charging for things that shouldn't be charged for. They have a game that is essentially the tech demo for the game that should be a packed-in game, essentially like Wii Sports was.
Yeah.
Should be packed into the console, but they're charging it separate as a digital release for $10. And all it is you walking around on top of a Switch 2 and it telling you about the Switch 2.
Interesting.
So it's like, why is this not just built into the game console to teach you about the console you just bought? But you're charging $10 for it? I think that people are blaming the tariffs.
Yeah.
And really, Nintendo is really just taking advantage of it to try to make more money.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
They're business centered right now instead of consumer minded.
Yeah.
Another thing, the $90 game cartridge for the physical game cartridge is just an unlock key that unlocks a download that you download the game. It is not physically on the game card.
Oh, we've talked about this before.
It's the same way that you buy a disc and it just is an unlock code for you to be able to play your game.
Yeah.
But what happens when you have no internet? You can't access your game because it can't verify that game card key is authentic or not.
And you can't download the game with internet and then play it off internet, right? Like you have to.
With PlayStation, you can do that for a certain amount of time. We're not sure how it'll work on the Switch 2. If it downloads the game and then you just have it, sure, but that takes up space on your game card. I mean, on your storage.
Okay.
So there's a lot of weird things going on, and it feels like a lot of people are blaming other things and not really holding Nintendo accountable.
Yeah.
To a degree. Though if you go to any game video right now for Nintendo, it is attacking Nintendo hard. Essentially say, oh, this looks great, but not $80 great. That's all the comments. All the comments are saying that.
Yeah.
So I think that due to the backlash, we might see a price drop.
Interesting.
But it also could go the other way, that if these tariffs with Trump go very poorly, we might see a price increase.
Yeah.
It could go either way.
I'm trying to look up tariff rates, because I know that's been the big argument, right? Is that America gets tariffed by other countries.
Right.
And then we don't tariff
as much, and we're just meeting the standards.
Yeah, we're just meeting their standards. So to me, if that's true, which I don't know if it is or not,
right? If
America's just meeting the same rate that Japan imposes on America, then it's not like the United States is trying to bully Nintendo. I think Nintendo is just taking advantage of a situation.
It's what it sounds like right now.
Yeah.
Because again, how are you going to say that because of the tariffs, this is the current price of the console?
Yeah.
But that's something between America and Japan. But it's $450 internationally for all countries.
Yeah.
Now, correct, if somebody finds better data than what I'm speaking on right now, please correct us in the comments.
Yeah.
But it just seemed weird.
Well, and another thing you got to think about is, because I don't even know the answer to this, but a lot of us don't know what are American exports and what are Japanese exports. Like, what is Japan importing to the United States? And then what is the United States trying to import to Japan?
Right.
Because you can't really compare. Like, obviously Toyota is pretty big.
Right.
But not all of it's coming over from Japan. Like, they built factories in Mexico, and now they're starting to build more factories here in the United States because of the tariffs, which was the whole point.
Right. It wasn't really, the tariffs are not meant to attack other countries.
Yeah.
It's to incentivize us as a country to become more self-reliant.
Yeah. So that's my thing is, like, what are we sending over to Japan? Does Japan actually need anything from us?
Yeah.
Or do they just need money from us because they import stuff to us? They don't get anything from us except money from what they send to us.
The other thing about tariffs is it's not really about actually charging them tariffs. It's something that we have, leverage with on other countries that we're using as a negotiation tactic.
I guess. I don't know.
My understanding is threatening with tariffs is allowing talks to come to the table.
Yeah.
To then them negotiate actual real trade deals.
All I know is that there's random people that are using it to create propaganda that like it's so bad that Trump's on his way out the door.
Yeah.
Like it's the end of his presidency. And then there's other people that are like, these are the growing pains for the greatness of America. And it's just like, I don't know enough about it either way to, lean one way or the other. I do know when we found out about all the, like exactly where American taxpayer dollars were going, that made me mad.
Yeah.
With the whole U.S. aid.
And Doge and all that.
And all that. So that kind of made me mad. And then I find out during all this whole tariff stuff, I'm thinking like, oh, because the way it's pitched is America is like, doesn't get charged by all these other countries in tariffs to import stuff to their countries. But now we're going to start charging them to bring stuff to our country. That's unfair. Which, if you don't know anything, is like, yeah, that is kind of unfair. Why would they allow us to freely bring stuff in, and then we're going to charge them to bring stuff into our country? But then it turns out that, like, no, these other countries, they charge us to import goods, and they're charging more than we charge them. So that I found those two. When I found that out, I kind of didn't really care. I was like, well, I'm not really going to listen to complaints from other parts of the world if they're just upset that now.
It's like a school bully getting called out. It's like,
it's like
hey, you're doing wrong. And of course they're going to be upset.
It's like you're upset that you were getting to import goods to the United States for super cheap. Meanwhile, charging more for us to import goods to you. That's the way I've understood it. Like from some of the research I've done is that it's an equalizer. We're starting to kind of equalize. And you, like you said, it's opening up negotiations to change deals because it's kind of like America's getting the short end of the stick.
Right.
In all these other countries. So
not only did we send them a lot of money in this U.S. aid.
Yeah.
We're also not getting enough money back in trade. So
we'll see what happens.
I'm
not political enough to know the ins and outs. Okay.
So ask me if I'm going to buy a Switch 2.
Are you going to buy a Switch 2?
I'm going to try.
Are you going to make a trip to Japan?
I might have to live there if everything goes to crap here, but sure. No.
Hey, you can buy really cheap real estate there.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, Mario Kart. I'm the biggest Mario Kart guy.
Yeah.
There's other games. Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
There's a new Donkey Kong game that's open world that they announced. Okay. I really want to play that. Bravely Default is getting remade for it. It's a Square Enix JRPG. There's a lot of games just announced right off the bat. So that's a huge thing for the Switch 2. When they announced all this stuff, people were like, this is incredible. This is amazing. Like they were banger after banger after banger showing off what it can do, what games are on it, the storage on it, the screen, the 4K, the refresh rate, all these great things. And then the backlash hit when they heard about the price of the games and the game cart and that the game's not actually on it. And, a tech demo being charged for. It's like the product itself is great.
Yeah.
The games on the product are great.
Yeah.
But when it comes to money, this is a little weird.
Yeah.
So me personally, I'll probably just trade in my old Switch towards it.
Yeah.
Because it can play Switch games. Old Switch games can play on the Switch too.
Yeah.
So I'll probably just trade in my Switch and then get it that way.
Gotcha.
But it's, it's...
When you mean trade in, what do you mean?
So you take your old console to a store that they'll buy it from you, and you typically give you more money if you put it towards the newest thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
So like a GameStop.
Yeah.
So
a dying GameStop.
So a lot going on. It's just more of the uncertainty of I really want to play this game.
Yeah.
It's supposed to come out soon as well.
Yeah.
But there's no way you can buy it. That means a lot of people might be thinking the same way, and there might not be a way to play this for a while. The Switch 1, I think it took a year before it was actually readily available at all stores.
Yeah,
it took a while. It took a long time before you could see a Switch just go in the store. Okay, I just want to get this now. Let me get this now instead of having to wait.
Yeah.
So I was lucky enough to go to the midnight release and get a Switch.
Nice.
So I'm going to pre-order the Switch 2.
Okay.
And you can see us playing those games on the Saints That Play.
That's right.
That is probably one of the main reasons I'm getting it, because that is a great console, the way it's designed.
Yeah.
For a streaming in large groups.
Oh.
Couch co-op and whatnot.
Okay.
So
well, there you have it, guys. When it comes out, we are going to be doing a Saints That Play live stream with it.
The Switch 2 comes out around the time that we start the Saints That Play. So
hopefully.
That might be what we need to do, is when I grab the Switch 2, we do like a Mario Party or something as an opening stream so everybody can get to know us.
Yeah.
See us, and all be on the couch co-op. So me, you, Ashley, and Janelle all sitting there playing like Mario Party.
I'm all about it.
So, but that's Nintendo. If anybody feels like we said anything wrong or want to correct us or engage more with this conversation, you can do so in the comments.
That's right.
Or send us an email at saintsthatserve@gmail.com.
That's right.
You have anything else to say about the Big N?
The Big N?
Nintendo, that's right.
Nintendo. Nope, that's all I got. So...
Also, Nintendo, send us free stuff.
Yeah. Let us,
sponsor this video.
Yeah, there you go. Sponsor this video, Nintendo. Anyways, you got time to do a...
Absolutely.
Okay. Tyler, this is your transition. We're going to play a quick round of FOOM.
That is the Facebook Marketplace Madness.
That's right.
And as we go through these and get more and more, I feel like we need to expand out from Facebook and go to other marketplaces, because I feel like eBay would be a great place to check, or Macari, Craigslist, stuff like that.
Let go. All
of these places. So don't be surprised if in the future it's just
Marketplace Madness.
Marketplace Madness.
All right.
Here we go.
Are you ready for mine?
Yep.
Okay. This is, it looks like a used walk-in sauna.
A used walk-in sauna?
Yeah.
Is that what's the title of it?
No, the title's just sauna.
It's just sauna.
It is, from the picture, it is a walk-in. It's big. It's a big walk-in sauna. Like, you could probably fit 3 people in there.
$3,500.
$3,500?
Yeah.
$99.
$99?
Yeah.
Hey, you got space down here, right? Get a walk-in sauna going.
Well, I lied. This says it's a one-person sauna. So it's still like you can stand in it. You walk in and...
Let me see.
$99.
It's got like
nasty
speakers.
Glass. It's got... are those speakers? I guess those are speakers.
Because there's a sound system looking thing in the top right there.
I think that's the temperature control.
So then speakers for the
temperature. There you go. Yeah, that's how it works. That's how heat works. You got to get some banger songs going.
Yeah, the vibration in the from the sound of the song vibrates the air. There you go.
Yeah. I don't know. I maybe it's just me being weird, but I don't think I would ever buy a used sauna.
I think anything that's related to the body and cleaning it is probably not a great choice to buy it used.
Yeah.
A used shower tub.
Yeah.
Used bath tools. You know what I mean? Just like...
We don't need to go any further. You're right. You're right. All right. Do you have one?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Mine is Steven Tyler.
Steven Tyler?
That's what it is. Steven Tyler. That's the title. And then the description is original art.
Original art's got to be $100.
I'll read it one more time and then show you the picture. Steven Tyler, original art.
That's $150.
I'll tell you right now, it's cheaper than your shower.
Oh, $50.
Steven Tyler, $25.
$25. That's funny.
It's so just, for those who, if you want to see this, it'll be on the video version.
Yeah.
But describe that to our audio listeners.
It's like if you go to a theme park or like the beach boardwalk, and it's one of those guys that intentionally draws an outlandish version of you. That's what it looks like.
So extra colors, and it's just over caricature.
Yeah, over caricature. There we go. That's a good, and just outlandish purples and blues and greens color for this person's face, whoever Steven Tyler is.
Steven Tyler is the lead singer for Aerosmith.
There you go. It's a caricature of Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
So there you go. Steven Tyler, Aerosmith had a Guitar Hero game.
Game or a song?
Game.
Wow.
Like where they had like Beatles Rock Band.
Yeah.
They had the Aerosmith Guitar Hero.
Interesting. I did not know that.
They were that big. They did the song for, you know the song me and Ashley danced to at our wedding?
I think I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy kissing my wife.
You were kissing your wife during me and my wife's big moment at our wedding?
Maybe. I'm just saying, I'm just assuming that's what I was doing because I don't remember what the song was.
Have you ever seen the movie Armageddon?
No, I think I was too busy kissing my wife.
During Armageddon? Okay. Fine.
What's the song?
I don't want to miss a thing.
Oh, yeah. Don't want to close my eyes.
That's Aerosmith. That's
Yeah.
Steven Tyler.
Okay, got it. All right, I'm locked in.
All right, cool.
All right. In the 1920s, we took children out of the coal mines. In 2020, the most popular video game came on the market is Minecraft. The children yearn for the mines.
They yearn for the mines.
So all you parents out there, just remember that. All right. Well, Christ is Lord.
And the kingdom is now.
We are the saints that serve. I could stay awake just to hear you breathing. I don't know how it goes, but anyways, I love it.
I stay awake just to hear you breathing. I love it.
I love it.